But you can't recreate the sound, the smell.
The diesel and the flashing lights.
Another driver had hit the family head on.
Rogersville is a wonderful little town. It's sort of like a Mayberry, I guess you could say.
I really enjoy my crossword puzzles.
I don't need your rocking chair.
It was 6 years ago for us for the wreck, but the story is still relevant today.
That story began one evening in December 2008, 5 days before Christmas, when David Little, his wife Mimi, and their 3 children left their home in Huntsville to have dinner out.
We were going to a restaurant down in Morgan County to see some family that was there and have some good barbecue, and we were kind of strung out on all the Christmas activities and just a little family time.
A couple of hours later, they were headed back on Highway 36 East.
I'd been going about 55, maybe a little faster, and Mimi actually told me to slow down because it had been raining. It wasn't raining anymore, but the roads were wet. I can still remember watching the speedometer go down to about 50, and then looked at the clock and it was 8:15.
Then their world exploded.
You can't recreate the sound, the smell.
The diesel and the flashing lights.
Another driver had hit the family head on.
But I remember him leaning in and saying he was sorry and that it was his fault.
According to the state trooper's report, the driver, a 17-year-old, stated he had been looking down at his cell phone when he rear-ended the car in front of him and crossed into the eastbound lane.
He was texting a family member that he was on his way home from a church function, and he had normally sent that text from the parking lot at other times, and on this particular night he forgot to send the text message and was doing it while he was driving.
Mimi Little's hand was broken, but she still managed to get the children out of the SUV and safely away from the road. Although shaken, they were unhurt. David Little was not as fortunate.
The dashboard hit my left knee and pushed my left leg through my hip socket. And so it dislocated my hip, but it also broke my hip, the socket itself. Broke my collarbone, broke 2 ribs, punctured my lung, and broke my nose.
Rescue crews would have to cut him from the family's Yukon. An ambulance rushed him to the hospital where he underwent surgery and a stay in intensive care. On Christmas Eve, he was moved to HealthSouth Rehabilitation for 16 days of inpatient care, followed by 3 months in a wheelchair. The other driver was unhurt and faced no penalty for causing the crash.
Current laws we have in place now, it would have been a $25 fine for what he did. And I'm sure has dealt with that in his own way, knowing he caused that.
But the family was also forced to deal with the aftermath, including the children, then ages 3, 5, and 7.
Being out of the same room as us, that was a problem. That became an increasingly a problem for them. Our youngest, which is our son, he didn't really talk, but he played car crash with his car, so we knew in the way in which he did it, we knew that's where all that was coming from.
As for David and Mimi, while their physical injuries eventually healed, the experience also took an emotional toll.
I'd drive by the hospital, drive by the ambulance bay, and it would just start up. You know, the memory, I mean, it consumed me for a long time.
It's never been the same for me to get in the car. I mean, I do it, but I just look at it differently. It's always there. I'm surprised at how strong the emotions still are.
A young man momentarily distracted, a family forever changed.
Rogersville is a wonderful little town. It's sort of like a Mayberry, I guess you could say. We all know each other.
There you go.
We all care for each other.
Dispatch, this is Rescue 15. We're going to be out at the community event.
Rogersville is all about community.
The mayor knows him, police chief know him, senior citizens know him.
But the most beloved person in this small town isn't a person at all.
Do you like these boys and girls? Do you like them?
It's Squirt, mascot and valued member of the Rogersville Volunteer Fire Department since he was, well, just a little squirt.
A lady had him for sale, so I picked him up and he was just a little small ball of white.
For Morris Lentz, the department's assistant chief, Squirt quickly proved his mettle.
When I first got him, we had a house fire on Rose Street, and me and another guy was inside. We were crawling down low in the kitchen to put the fire out, and he was just a puppy. I brought him with me. I put him in the truck, thought I locked the truck. Next thing I know, I looked down at my feet, and he's right beside me.
Then there was the time he saved a litter of kittens in the road. Really?
And I looked out the window, and he was grabbing the cats by the head, and he was picking them up and taking them out of the road, putting them to the side of the road.
14 years later, time moves on, even in Rogersville. But people still slow for Squirt.
It's funny, we have a four-way stop here in town, and people know if Squirt crosses the road, traffic stops.
Which is a good thing, because Squirt is a man on the move.
About 7:30 in the morning, he's knocking on the door, and he'll get his bologna and his cheese every morning, and then he'll make his rounds around town.
A Squirt wears a GPS tracker so Morris can keep up with where he is, but they don't really need it. Depending on the time of day, they've got a pretty good idea of where to find Squirt. For instance, if it's the middle of the night, he's probably here at Warren's Market, waiting on the biscuits.
He likes fresh biscuits. He don't want any of the old stuff when it's early in the morning.
And if there's no one around to help him, he'll help himself.
He'll walk back here and get him a bag of dog food off the shelf and leave with it. We saw him do that twice.
The market is just one of Squirt's daily stops. He likes to visit the school playground and the senior center. From there, he usually swings by the bank where Morris works.
I know you're not supposed to do this, but he loves lemon suckers, so Squirt gets a lemon sucker every day when he comes to visit.
But as big as Squirt's appetite may be, his heart is even bigger. Morris says the old fire dog seems to know when people are sad or sick, like the woman with cancer he befriended at the senior center.
One of his rounds, Squirt will go knock on their door in the morning, and he will go inside to their bedroom, and he will sit beside her bed, and he'll put his head on her bed. And the gentleman says his wife really likes that. It makes her feel at ease.
Maybe he knows his own time is coming. Maybe not. But Morris Lentz does.
And I don't want to look ahead. I know his days are numbered. I know he's getting older. He's slowed down a lot.
And maybe that's what makes these days so sweet.
Hey, doggy!
What makes Rogersville not just a town,
He loves those ears scratched.
but a community.
Y'all want to come hug him again? He loves to be hugged. There you go.
A close pal to a texter, that's a BFF. I really enjoy my crossword puzzles.
I don't need your rocking chair.
Neither do Clyde and Imogene Green. These were a gift from their children 10 years ago. They've never used them. Clyde and Imogene just celebrated their 68th wedding anniversary. When they first met, she was 16. He'd just come home from the Navy. It was love at first sight.
Pretty much so.
Must have been, because I didn't ever date anybody else, and I think he did a few times, but that was okay too.
Well, back then, though, I had hair and teeth and all this stuff that I don't have now.
He's now 91. She's 86. They've got a lot of road yet to travel.
I'm a runner.
As in a 5K race.
I don't walk, I run.
It started last year.
I decided I might as well join the crowd. I had done one 5K, but I walked every step of the way on it.
So at 85, she trained with other church members at Eider Baptist 3 days a week for 3 months.
You know, I felt pretty comfortable that I could get across the finish line anyway.
What in the world made you decide to start running at age 85?
I have no idea. I just did. It's like I do a lot of other stuff. I just decide I want to do it, and I do it.
In her first 5K, Imogene ran and walked the 3.1 miles in 46 minutes.
Let's go, Mom.
That's her personal best. She's run 9 5Ks now, the latest in the Alabama August heat.
I didn't do too good on it. It was, 53 minutes, I believe, 52 or 53 minutes.
You're slowing down.
Yeah, sure am. I'm never last, though.
Clyde's not a runner.
I walk. I walked with them when they were training out here, but that's it.
Yeah. But come race day,
I'll go with her.
he's her biggest fan.
I'm sitting in the chair watching her.
He's there from the time Imogene takes off until she finishes the race.
Well, I'm just looking for her. I've got the best woman that God ever made.
Their biggest victory? Winning each other's hearts.
You got a tape recorder here. Am I going to get a copy of this?
No.
In Ider, Jerry Hayes, WHNT News 19.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
It's Christmas every day on Sand Mountain. That's where our very own Laura Christmas works and lives. And in case you've ever wondered,
Oh, yeah.
yes, Christmas is really her last name.
It is. Spelled just like the holiday.
She's been answering that same question from the first day she walked into preschool.
And they said, Laura Christmas, and I said, like the holiday.
That's usually followed with,
Well, I bet you're born on Christmas, weren't you? I said, no, I was actually born in December, though, and that's always a knee slapper.
December 8th, to be exact. Laura knew what was coming next before I could finish asking if her parents thought about
Naming me Mary. That's the other one I always get. Thank you.
Her dad told her it did cross their minds.
You know, if your last name wasn't Christmas, we would have named you Mary. And he said, we really wanted to name you Mary, but we figured that would be pretty horrible to do to our little girl.
There was already a Carol and a Rosemary in the family. She's proud of her family name and has traced her roots for at least 4 generations to East Tennessee and Florida. Did you ever think about changing it for television?
No. No, some people had told me I should change it to my middle name, which is Michelle. And I said, well, Laura, Michelle, now that sounds made up. I said, I'm going to stick with Christmas because that's memorable.
So is the street name in the little Florida town where she grew up, Christmas Drive.
It was named after us, and as a little girl, I thought that everybody lived on a road with their last name on it because that was my road.
She even has an old street sign to prove it.
When I moved off to Alabama, my dad said, hey, do you want this? And I said, of course I want this.
Yeah.
And, so I just took it with me. It's a little memory of home.
Santa always found his way to Christmas Drive.
Yeah, we always figured when we were kids, we had like an in with Santa because our last name was Christmas, And
Did it help?
Us when we were good.
Laura got married earlier this year.
And I said, I'm keeping Christmas.
Yeah.
I said, you can't beat Christmas.
What's your favorite holiday of the year?
Christmas. It has to be.